So in this video I will create a new instance and I will run our backend application in this instance. So we have to do some preparations. First of all, make sure your database is running, so it's available. Check if the IP address is the same. In my case it was the same. Then run your application and go to the POM file. Add this line of code to your application between build and plugins. Hold on. Then type npm clean install. Okay, process has just finished. Then enlarge target. Here's our file, java app jar. We need that file. We have to push that file to our remote repository because then we need that file on our instance. So the target, this folder stays only on our local version of our project. We are not pushing it to the Git remote repository, but somehow we have to have that file on our remote repository. So I'm doing it in the way that I'm just copy and then source, right button and paste. Okay, so the file is here, and then git add, git commit jar file, git push. So the file is already there. It's around 30-40 megs, so it takes a while. We can close our application. Okay. Then we have to extend our security group. That we have created for the backend instance. It's exactly here. Click it. And edit inbound rules and add 2 rules. So I've already got them here, so I will show you how I did it. Just edit inbound rules, then I will delete those rules. Your rules should look alike, exactly this way, because this is what we've performed in the previous video. So now add rule, custom TCP port 8080 and for anywhere IPv4, and another one 8080 for IPv6. We need this 8080 because our backend application, Java application, runs under Tomcat server, which runs under port 8080. So the ports are provided. Click Save Rules. And now we are ready to run our instance. We'll run new instance just to show you the steps once again. So EC2. Okay. This is my previous instance. If your previous instance is still working, just click it, then instance state, and click terminate instance, and that's it. And it will terminate, and then you don't have to worry that you're gonna spend some extra free usage of your instances, as that number is limited, the number of hours that you can use free instances, just like the databases, database access. So instances, launch instance, select free tier, configure instance details, pick VPC, make sure that the first subnet has been chosen, then auto assign public IP enable, then add storage, add tags, configure security group, select existing group and pick backend, review and launch. Okay, then launch. And now as we have created our key earlier on, so basically the option is already chosen, so choose an existing key pair, and I have called it full stack key. That's what that is, full stack key. So it's just there, and I just pick that option, launch instances. Click here and wait for the status. Meanwhile, prepare a node with environmental variables for your database. Something like this. Export AWSDB password for your database. Export AWSDB URL, the URL for your database, and export AWSDB user and the name of the user for your database. We need it later on during the installation process of our backend, so just prepare it. And my instance is running, so I can connect to it. Connect, and we are gonna perform the same operations as we did in our previous video. So yum update. Okay. Okay, then yum install. Okay, then enable HTTPD. Okay, then start HTTPD. Now, because our application is a Java application, we need a JDK. We have to install the JDK to our Linux version, to our Linux instance, to be able to operate, to execute Java application. So I've got a link here. I will provide all those commands in the documentation, which will be stored on my README folder on my remote repository as well. So now I'm downloading the JDK 17. Okay, now I want to install it. Okay, because it's Linux, I want to change the location. So cd/var/www/ maybe just, for example, cd/var, click ls, and you've got a bunch of catalogs here. I'm just gonna move to www, ls, and cd html. So I'm just trying to find any folder when I'm gonna install my application. Okay, now I have to install git, because I'm gonna clone that jar file from git. So okay, and now I'm gonna clone to this location, to this HTML catalog, that Java application that we are working on at this moment. It's Java app. Once again, where is that name? Go to your GitHub, and exactly here. I named it Java API, so check what is your name. And you see I've made a typo because I've provided Java app, but it should be Java API. So go back to your instance, Java API. Okay, now ls Here it is. So cd Java API ls, and here's our source. So cd src. Where did that src came from? So go back to your application, run your backend application, and it's exactly here, source. So I assume that in that folder now I should to have java app.jar. Let me check that. cd src ls, and here it is, java app.jar. Before I will run my application, I have to insert that three variables. So first one, the second one, and the third one. So I've just provided my environment of variables. I've cleared the screen as I didn't want to show my passwords. So now we are ready to run our backend application. And here's the command: java -jar java. Maybe I will check it again, so I can just type cls, and now java -jar java app.jar. Enter. Okay, application is starting. It's a good sign. Tomcat server just started on port 8080. You see it's here, port 8080. That's why we have opened that port on our security group. Application is running. One thing, it looks that instance sometimes is unstable, which means after a minute or 2 or 5 minutes, the Spring application is just shut it down. And then you have to restart it again. So just in case, if you will realize your application is not running because you will type, soon we are gonna type an IP address to get an access to the application. In the next video I will show you how to create bash scripts with all those lines of code provided automatically to the server, and then if this instance is built upon the bash script, it's stable. You don't have to worry that the server is gonna shut down. But at this moment, as I said, if there is an inactivity on the server, it automatically is shutting down itself. But after 5 maybe more minutes. Now that server is running perfectly fine. So now we want to have an access to our application. So go back to your instance. Here's the public IP address, just copy it. Control C, Control V, and it looks that I have to update my database password again because I've just shown it to you. That's not the problem. That's a good exercise for myself to do this again. This is what I should show you, not my password. But never mind. So port 8080/swagger. So go back to the address, type it as it is, click enter. And here's our backend application, which works perfectly fine, as we can get all cars, for example. Try it out and execute. Here's my cars, I mean objects of type car, and we can check users as well. if I've got any users. Let me check. Try it out, execute. No, it's empty, so let me post a user. Try it out. Okay. Name Kyle. Execute. Code 200. So get all users. Let's try it out. Execute. And here it is. So that's it for today's video. Next video, as I said, we will create a bash script and all the operations are gonna be performed automatically, which means we wouldn't have to type so many commands one after another, just do this automatically.